all the Bruton Choir members out there. Hope everybody's doing well. Becky has asked me to put together a series of videos that we can use to practice and stay focused in terms of our singing during this time where we cannot be together in person. And so I thought the way I would start this is with a discussion and some exercises on breathing. Because we are wind instruments, and the most important function we have is controlling our airflow. So there's a lot of misconceptions about breathing out there, a lot of things you've heard over time that can be confusing. So I thought I'd break down a few of those myths and give you some pointers on how to breathe a little bit more effectively and more naturally. So the first thing we have to understand about breathing is we do not take breath. You've always heard that, take a deep breath. Remember that breathing is natural. We're doing it all day. We're thinking in terms of breathing that we have to take a bigger breath. But what that does is that creates negative factors in our bodies that can hinder us. For instance, the biggest thing we see when we take a breath is we fill up our chest, shoulders go up, then we're in a tight position. Remember, our lungs are inside our rib cage. Our rib cage has some flexibility in it, not a whole lot, but we've always heard expand our rib cage when we breathe. You do not really have to feel like you're expanding your rib cage when you breathe. Your lungs inflate inside your ribs, and almost all of that expansion is down as your lungs inflate. So the idea that we should puff out our chests and raise our shoulders is kind of a big warning sign for breathing. Because if I take a breath like that, and I hold that breath, I'm already in a tight position, and I haven't even sung yet. So, a good deep breath, I like to say, is like a good yawn. I open my mouth, I relax my throat, I allow my lungs to inflate, and the shape of that, which I like to use, is down. Like that. Down and away. So I'm going to do that again. And what I should really feel is a little bit of expansion in my stomach. I shouldn't feel any tension in my chest. I shouldn't feel any expansion of the sides or expanding my back or any of those things that you've heard. I just allow that air to fill my lungs with a nice, easy, open yawn. There. Now that we've got that, the next misconception we hear is squeeze from your diaphragm, tighten your diaphragm, things like that. Please understand your diaphragm is an involuntary muscle that cannot be controlled. So, where do we feel that pressure for air? The place we feel that is in our abdominal muscles. So after I get my good breath, what I'm going to do is I'm going to engage and feel some tightening in my abs, and that's what I'm going to use to control that flow of air up and out of my body. So the whole thing's going to look like this. It's a three-step process. In, step one, a little bit of contraction of my abs to suspend that air. Step two, and then blowing that air and imagining that I'm blowing it up and away from my body as step three. So the whole process looks like this. Step one, step two, step three. Voice teachers over the years have used candles, straws, all sorts of things. My highly technical tool is a pinwheel. So what I'm going to do is take my pinwheel and hold it out in front of me. If you don't have a pinwheel, you can use your finger, pretend you're blowing out a candle, something like that. But the pinwheel is good because it's a visual of my airflow. So I'm going to take a good breath. 1, 2, and I end back in the position I started. So now I can get rid of whatever tension my body has created during that blowing process. Repeat the whole process. In, step 2, remember, if you don't have a pinwheel, just put your finger up in front of your face, pretend it's a birthday candle, that you're not going to blow out all at once, you're going to make that flame flicker and not go out. So I'll show you the whole process one more time. 1, 2, 3. Good. Now that you've heard all of this, you might want to mark this in your video, and you can see at what point this exercise starts, so the next time you can skip this and go right to the exercise. So, the whole exercise is we're going to breathe in, contract, and we're going to blow out air, and we're going to count to 6 as we blow, and then repeat the whole process. We're going to do it 5 times, okay? So I'm going to be snapping my fingers to show you my beat. You don't have to do that necessarily. So, step 1. Now there's tension, release the tension, yawn again. Third time. Fourth time. Fifth time. And if that feels natural, you feel like you've got control of that, we're going to up the counting to 8, which means you're going to release your air a little slower tempo. Your hand's going to move away from your body just a little bit slower. So now we'll do 5 times for 8. Fourth time. Last time. Good. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you can practice this and feel more confident and comfortable with creating a good breath.